Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Madam Rusliyawati and my beloved friend. My name is Nisa Elvia Wintami with student number B1034181007. I am a student of Accounting International class, batch 2018. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Now, I will present the environmental analysis of Starbucks. It's submitted as an assignment of strategic management midterm exam. So let's get started. When we visit the website of Starbucks, we will find these captions. So the caption of behind every cup of coffee is a story. Enjoy some of favorites along with all the latest news from the storytellers at Starbucks Stories. We can imagine that this company tend to inspire their consumers, right? Because behind what they sell, behind the product, there's a story of it that we can get the inspiration maybe to write the story to plan our next project and etc. So as I told you before that we will talk about the environmental analysis of a company, especially here Starbucks, then this presentation will cover these four contents. The first one is company profile. And after we know the profile of the company, we will move on to the content 2 to content 4, which focus on the environmental analysis. Yeah, it will be started with the SWOT analysis to analyze the external factors and internal factors. Then we will move on to the external analysis that focus on the EFE matrix for macro external environment and 5 forces model in micro external environment. And then we will move on to the internal analysis that focus on IFE matrix before we conclude the discussion. So let's move on to the company profile. As you can see here, there are 3 founders of Starbucks, and the Starbucks story began on 30th of March in 1971, which is 50 years ago. Back then, they were a roaster and retailer of whole bean and ground coffee, tea, and spices with a single store in Seattle. Now, they are privileged to connect with millions of customers every day with exceptional product and more than 30,000 retail stores in 83 markets. So the area served here is 33,925 locations in 2021, and then 83 countries around the world. And then this industry focus on the coffee shop. After we knew the profile of Starbucks, I tried to do SWOT analysis. I tried to know, yeah, what external and internal factors of this company, what external and internal factors that can affect this company with SWOT analysis, and I will show you guys what I've done. So here the SWOT analysis, we divide it into 2 areas actually. There are external and internal. Maybe which one will go first? Maybe the internal one. Okay, for the internal factors, yeah, it related to the element within the organization where this organization maybe can control it. And from the internal side, we have strengths and weaknesses. The strengths and weaknesses is come from the company itself. It's not like they are not like opportunities and threats that come from the outside of the company. So opportunities and threats is are the part of external factors. Then let's start with the strengths. Okay, there are three strengths that I mentioned here. The first one is strategic location of Starbucks. As we know that in Pontianak, we can go to Starbucks at the Mega Mall, we can enjoy it. And many people can access it. Yeah. So it is accessible for many people in Pontianak. Maybe in Kalimantan Barat. Yeah, in Kalimantan Barat, maybe from Sambas, people in Sambas go to Pontianak, then they will go to Mega Mall, then they can access the Starbucks if they want. The second one is this company always try to create good relationship with their customers. So maybe I and you guys are the part of customer of Starbucks. We can say that Starbucks always give us special service, good service, nice service. So the relationship between us is good. And then it provide cozy store atmosphere. As we know that we are in the demographic bonus, there are so many productive people now today, and then this people, the productive here, need inspiration, need a comfortable place to focus, then maybe Starbucks will be the best choice. So because it's the atmosphere is one of the strengths. And then the weaknesses. The weaknesses of Starbucks is we know that maybe to just to drink one coffee we need to pay 50,000 rupiah, and it's so expensive, especially for me and maybe my friend. Yeah. The price of some product are more expensive than the competitors' product. Then as maybe for the coffee, yeah, many competitors also sell the product of coffee with the lower price. Then I tend to buy the competitors, not the Starbucks. Because what? Because I didn't have much money, so I need to keep my money, and I should use it wisely. Then I'll choose the competitors one, not the Starbucks. Mm, then the high price is the weakness, one of the weaknesses. Next, the second weakness is complex management. As we know that the Starbucks here spread in many areas, so the management will be complex, right? And then the third one is it doesn't offer heavy meals like take fried chicken, or I didn't know how to spell awe, maybe awe or awe. Yeah, as I am a student and many of my friends, sometimes at the break time, we are so hungry. We don't only need drinks, we also need food. So maybe if we have 50,000 rupiah, we will buy the product that over by the Kentucky Fried Chicken stores, because 50,000 rupiah can be for two people, but in Starbucks only for 1%, and we are, I think that we will still hungry, not full. For the Kentucky Fried Chicken, maybe it's full, it's enough. Okay, so those are the weaknesses of Starbucks. I'm sorry, there's a signal problem. Then we will move on to the external area here. Okay. Mm, mm, Okay, now the external area consists of opportunities and threats. As we have talked about the strengths and weaknesses, we move on to the opportunities. Yeah, one of the opportunities is globalization and technological advance, which makes Starbucks easier to penetrate a wider market. Yeah, the technology with the handphone, maybe they can easily promote their product and the market will be wider than before. Many people will know the Starbucks than before. So it's the opportunities that Starbucks can use. Furthermore, the second opportunity is many Indonesians are consumptive, including me. And then demographic bonds. As we know that this company over provide cozy store atmosphere that I think it is suitable with the productive people. So as demographic bonus means that many productive people, yeah, many people in the productive age, in which maybe 17 to 30, then the demographic bonus collab with many Indonesian are consumptive will be a good opportunities for the Starbucks. Okay, and then let's move on to the traits. The trait, as I said before, the weakness of Starbucks is the high price of the product. Then the trait is many competitors sell drinks and beverages with the lower price. So it is the trait. Then maybe Starbucks need to pay attention to this. The second one is all of us face the epidemic of COVID-19. So the lockdown in some countries, especially in Indonesia and in Pontianak, during epidemic of COVID-19, make people tend to buy the cheaper one. So as there are many competitors that sell drinks and beverages with a lower price than the Starbucks, the maybe the customer of Starbucks will buy the product from the competitors now, not from the Starbucks get. Then it is the trick, one of the tricks. And then the third trick is many substitute product like tea, juice, and etc. Yeah, substitute drink. Sometimes maybe tea, we need tea, then we prefer to buy tea than the Starbucks coffee. Okay, as we have discussed about SWOT analysis, we knew the internal element of the Starbucks and external element, the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then let's focus on the external environment. The first one that we will be focused is the macro external environment, which is the external environment that doesn't directly affect the activities of the business world. So I conduct EFE matrix here with three consumer of Starbucks as informant. Then the informant here, I ask them to rank each external factor with certain value. There are four value. Value one is first bond is lower than the mean. Value two, first bond in average. Value three, first bond is higher than the mean or average. And value four, correct first bond. Based on the factors stated on the SWOT analysis, so the EFE matrix will be like this. Yeah. The first column is number. The second column is external factors that consist of opportunities and threats. Opportunities at the first, at the second row, and the threat at the seventh row. Then the second column is informant one. followed by the informant 2 and informant 3. The next column is amount. The next column is babat. Actually, I didn't know what babat in English. And then the next column is rate, and the next column is the result of babat multiplied by rating. So here, how to get the value of EF in matrix. The first, maybe I can give the example of the third row here, number 1, globalization and technological advance. But wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, as I said before that I will give the example of row, the third row, number 1, globalization and technological advance. Here, the informant 1 gave value 4 for these external factors, and informant 2 get value 3, and informant 3 gave value 4. Then we can total them. Then we got the amount of 11. And how about the babat? How to calculate it? It can be calculated by the 11 divided by 54. 54 where? 54 at the lowest row. Yeah, total of all 54, right? At the second column of the lowest row. So after babat, we need to calculate the rating. 3.67. How to get it? It's easy. Just 11 divided by total informant. The amount 11 divided by total informant 3. So we got 3.67, and the result of babat multiplied by rating is 0.73. Then it same with number 2 and 3 of opportunities factors. The way is same, and the trade also same. So we got the total of all here. Babat multiplied by rate is 3.16. Then based on the EF matrix, the company's position is in quadrant 1, which position indicates a very profitable position. Okay, now let's move on to the micro external environment. Before we did it with EF matrix, but in micro external environment, which is the external environment that contributes directly to the activities of the business world, we use the 5 forces model. There are 5 things that can determine the level of competition and market attractiveness in an industry, such as competitive rivalry or competition, bargaining power of buyers or customers, bargaining power of suppliers, trade of substitute or substitution, and trade of new entrants or new entry. Now, the 5 forces model. We will start it with the competitive rivalry or competition with Starbucks Coffee Company. So Starbucks faces the strong force of competitive rivalry or competition in the food service and coffee house industry. There are large number of firms, strong force, yeah, and then moderate variety of firm, moderate force, and then low switching costs, strong force. Then let's move on to the bargaining power of buyers. There are low switching costs, strong force, high substitute availability, strong force, and small size of individual buyers, big force. And let's move on to the bargaining power of suppliers. Moderate size of individual suppliers, moderate force, high variety of suppliers, big force, large overall supply, big force. And then the trade of substitution, high substitute availability, strong force, low switching costs, strong force, high affordability of substitute products, strong force. And then the last one is threats of new entrants. They are moderate cost of doing business, moderate force, moderate supply chain cost, moderate force, and high cost of brand development, big force. For the competitive rivalry here, as I said before, that one of the threat of the company we talk in the SWOT analysis is large number of competitors. Yeah, many competitors sell the lower price of product, so large number of firms as the competitors. One of the threat of the Starbucks company. Then in the bargaining power of buyers, we have high substitute availability related with the threat, previous threat that we have discussed before. And then, yeah, these two are very related with the SWOT analysis. So let's move on to the last discussion, which is internal environment analysis. The internal environment is all the human and physical resources that affect the organization. I choose IF matrix as a tool to analyze it. Then um, the information about the value, the information is same with the EFE matrix. So here the IFE matrix of Starbucks. How to get the value? Some with a bit before, but let me explain it in Indonesia here to have the understanding. Oke. Okay? Oke, di sini kan ada nih nomor kan, kolom pertama nomor, kolom kedua kan ada faktor internalnya. Nah, nomor pertama ini kita bahas langsung aja dari nomor pertama. Itu ada internal faktor kekuatan itu strategic location dari Starbucks, lokasi Starbucks yang strategis. Nah, kan tadi kita ada bilang kan ada 3 informan itu, customer of Starbucks itu kita jadikan 3 informan yang memberikan informasi yang menjadi narasumber. Nah, ketiga informan tadi itu bakalan memberikan nilai atas faktornya. Narasumber pertama kasih nilai 4 untuk faktor pertama yang ini, strategic location of Starbucks. Lalu narasumber kedua kasih nilai 3. Lalu narasumber yang ketiga kasih nilai 4. Nah, how to get the amount? Bagaimana cara mendapatkan amount-nya ini? Itu adalah 4 ditambah 3 ditambah 4 dapatlah kita 11. Lalu bagaimana cara menghitung bobot? Cara menghitung bobot itu 11 dibagi sama yang paling bawah ini. Total paling bawah itu adalah 55. Total of all ya. Di baris paling bawah di dalam kolom 6. Dapatlah 11 dibagi 55 dapatlah 0,2. Nah, bagaimana mendapatkan rating? Cara mendapatkan rating itu dengan yang 11 tadi, yang amount itu kita bagiin jumlah narasumber kita. Narasumber kita tadi ada berapa? Ada 3 kan? Jadi 11 dibagi 3 dapat 3,67. Lalu kita cari bobot dikali rating 0,2 dikali 3,67 dapat 0,73. Kita totalin dapat 3,09. Yang mana 3,09 ini berada di kuadran pertama. Jadi kalau di kuadran pertama itu berarti perusahaan ini masih dalam posisi yang sangat menguntungkan. Artinya bisa saja strategi yang sudah dijalankan perusahaan itu dipertahankan dan ditingkatkan, ya. Karena ada juga perusahaan mungkin nanti yang di bawah 3, sekitar 2 itu perlu perusahaan itu masih dalam posisi bertumbuh. Nah, bertumbuh artinya dia perlu merancang strategi yang lebih baik untuk tahun berikutnya atau periode berikutnya. Nah, I think that's all from me for the conclusion as we talk about Starbucks environmental analysis. We need to know the company profile first to analyze it. and then we can start it with the SWOT analysis to make it easier to know the factors of internal and external area of the company. So I think that's all. Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.